Okay, so I'm going to go over part 4 problems. Remember, these are optional, but they are challenge problems to help you really understand the content. So when you have negative fractions, you always want to move the negative up to the top. So this problem becomes negative 8 over 9, and then plus 5 over 9. And then from there, we have the common denominator, so we're allowed to just add the top, negative 8 plus 5, and then we'll put that answer over 9. And since we're adding a negative 8 plus a positive 5, right? Even though it doesn't say positive, it means positive. We're adding integers that have different signs, so we end up subtracting. So 8 minus 5 is 3. And since 8 is the bigger number and it has a negative, we put our sign as negative 3. So this actually becomes negative 3 over 9, which if you want to simplify becomes negative 1 over 3. Let's go to the next one over here. 4/11 minus negative 6 over 11. So we have 11 on the bottom for both, so we're allowed to just subtract the top and leave the bottom. So this becomes 4 minus, right, this is subtraction, a negative 6. And since we're subtracting a negative number, that is the same as adding. So this actually becomes 4 plus 6, which is 10. We put that number over 11, and that is our answer. Same thing here. We have a negative 5/12. So we're going to bring the negative up, and then we're going to add it to 1. And then we subtract. And since 5 is bigger, it's negative. So this would be negative 4/12, which simplifies to negative 1/3 if we divide by 4 over 4. In this one, we divide by 3 over 3, the one above it, to simplify. Got some more complicated ones here. So we have negative 3 minus 2/3. That seems like a really complicated problem. Let's take it step by step. First of all, we want to take 3 and we want to convert it to a fraction that's over 3. Now I know that 3 over 3 would equal 1. And if I add 3 of those, that would be 3. Or you can just multiply 3 over 3 times 3 over 1, which would be 9 over 3. And if you divide 9 over 3, that is 3. But we got to bring that negative in. So this is negative 9/3 minus 2/3. So now we're just going to deal with the top, negative 9 minus 2, which actually becomes negative 9 plus negative 2, which is negative 11. And then we put that answer over 3. So that is our answer. And I'm not going to make you simplify the improper fractions. But yeah, you can if you'd like, but you don't have to. And if you wanted to make this a mixed number, you would realize that this is negative 3 2/3, which if you see it, you're adding two negative numbers together, which would make sense. Okay. So first we're going to get rid of that minus a negative, and we're going to change this from negative 1 minus negative 1/2 to negative 1 plus 1/2. So this is negative 1 plus 1/2, right? This negative this subtracting a negative becomes adding a positive. And then I want to change 1/2 to negative 2 over 2, or not 1/2. I want to change 1 to 2 over 2 and keep the negative. Then I'm adding 1/2. Now I'm just going to deal with the top, which is negative 2 plus 1. That equals negative 1. Put that answer over 2. Same thing here. I'm going to change this to negative 4/5 plus 1/10. Sorry, 10th. Because minus a negative is the same thing as adding here. And then in this one, I didn't realize that we do have different denominators. So first we have to change 4/5 to a fraction over 10. If we multiply by 2 over 2, we're going to get negative 8/10. And then we add 1/10. So that would be on top, negative 8 plus 1 would be negative 7. Put that answer over 10. Okay, this is a lot of problems. I didn't realize how complicated I made some of these. So good job, you guys. So first, I see a negative and subtract, I see a negative number minus a positive. So I'm going to change this to negative 1 3/5, okay, fifth, minus, or plus negative 3 1/5. Right? If you're subtracting a positive number, it's the same thing as adding a negative. Now, when you're adding mixed numbers, you could add the numbers. So we're going to add negative 1 plus negative 3, which would be negative 4. And then we're going to add the fractions, 3/5 plus 1/5. And we're going to learn this eventually, so don't worry if it's confusing. That's 4/5. So this would be negative 4 and 4/5. And the whole thing is negative. Same thing here, we're adding two negatives, so we're going to add negative 2 plus negative 5. That's negative 7. And then we're going to add the fractions, 3/8 plus 3/8 equals 6/8. Put it together, it's negative 7 and 6/8. These last ones here, so you either need to convert the decimal to a fraction or the fraction to a decimal. And if you're more confident, of course, with just plugging this into a calculator and dividing, you can do it that way. I'm going to show you both for the first one. So I know 0.5 is 1/2. And if I add 1/2, oops, I'm going to do it over in the answer box. So that's 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1. 2/2, right? 2/2, which equals 1. Now, if I take 0.5 and I convert 1/2 to a decimal, it's 0.5. That would also be 1. So I'm going to go with converting everything to fractions. Maybe not. I don't know. You could choose. I'll go by problem. I haven't decided. So 0.5 minus 1/2. I'm going to change that, or minus 1/4. I'm going to change 0.5 to 1/2. Oh no. And then I'm subtracting 1/4. You could do it that way, or you could take 0.5 and subtract 0.25, because 1/4 is 0.25, and you'll get 0.25. I'm not going to do the rest of these, but you get the idea. You can either convert the decimal to a fraction by putting it over 100, and then you'll realize that that simplifies. But if it's a lot more steps to do it that way. I would suggest just plugging 3/5 in and converting it to a decimal by taking 3 divided by 5 and then adding that together. So that is how you solve these. We will continue learning about this as we go.